Welcome to Parked Up Garage.
Alright then, looky there. Yep, finally got that wiring done up enough on that thing where I could start her with the key and move her around, get her out of the way a little bit. Far from done, but we're working on it. Let me flip you around. Mama got up on me there this morning. She's like, "Hey, Mr. Goodwrench, you know, that part doesn't come in for that little Cruze LTZ out there. It's been here a week or so. When you gonna jump up and down on a little bit to get that thing fixed?" I was like, "Okay, I ain't got nothing better to do. We'll see if we can throw a little fixing on it this morning." Let me flip you back around here. That car. Oop, another car. Hey, look at there. Coffee. So I guess you might say we got a little bit of the cars and coffee, but that ain't what I was going to show you. We'll flip you back around. All right. Remember on me telling you guys about these intake manifolds on these 1.4 turbo cars. Yeah, that little fella right there. And as you can see, I done made for you guys that know, done made a replacement on that line. I've got to order the factory one that's here. I'm going to put it on there, but that's a get you by. It'll work. But there's the new one. Here, let me turn on this. I'm going to show you that little valve I was talking about. Get fired up. You're going to have to give it a minute. That thing's about like me this morning. It's like, I'm going to show you a little something, but it's going to take me a minute before I jump up and down on it. Oh, there we go. Yep, camera coming alive. Let's see, wait a minute. It kind of helped. I get y'all down in the right spot here. Yep. Now let me get you back over here. You see that little orange pressure valve right there? Well, that's the gentleman that'll go bad in that intake. And when it does, it'll give you that problem like, man, it'll start blowing all out everywhere you can imagine. Oh man, my front cover seal's gone bad. Which when it gets bad enough it blows that out, you're going to have to do that. I've already put that on this one. And the valve cover. Let me flip you back around a second. When these rascals get to where they ain't idling real good, on this valve cover, there's a little built-in valve right here. This thing don't want to idle, it runs like crap. There's a little hole right there in the end of that. You reach down there and put your thumb over that hole, and she goes to idling smooth, she's done. She's ready. What I'm saying is you're going to have to put a changing on that valve cover. That valve done gone bad. This one, it idles good. I done put all that in it when I put the head on it, but when I put it on there, I didn't have this issue with it leaking a lot of oil. You know, I had the head off. I went ahead and sealed up the cover and all that. But now it's starting to want to blow a little oil out around here and there. Not terrible yet, and I ain't going to let it get there. So I'm going to have to put a removing on and a fixing of this intake manifold to cure that up. Now, I might put up a little stand there in a minute and show a little replacing on it. See, it ain't a terrible hard job, but you know it's got to be done. So y'all give me a minute or 23 and I'll start pulling on this and tugging on that, and we'll get it replaced. May even hook up to it with the Apollo D8. We'll see what the codes were, and I'll show you what to look for on that with your scan tool. Because it'll give you some weird boost codes and a few other things when this does that. Because that valve opens that up on a bypass when this thing goes to boosting real hard. And that's what causes these leaks if that valve ain't working. So I'll catch y'all back in a minute. All right, now, these little tubes here, you squeeze them. You just squeeze that and it pops off. See that one right there that goes on that port, you squeeze it and it pops off. all of these that you do is going to be a squeeze and pull, except for this one. It's got a metal slide back there that you pull it. Yeah, there we go. See that right there? You pull out on it, and then you lift it off. It lifts off that main port. Y'all kind of get the quick and dirty, because my Class 8 guys have called me and they really, really need me. But I wanted to show you something too, because I didn't want y'all to get nervous when you do it. When I pull the inlet pipe off, you'll look in there, you'll see a little oil right there in the throttle body. Do not be worried about that. It's a turbo car. They do it. You're going to see that. So I wanted to throw that on you. And let me flip you back around. All right. Now, I've got everything basically unclipped here on the top, and the 2 ports down on the bottom that you're going to have to get to. You got basically the same procedure. Right here on the fuel rail, now I've got the injectors unplugged already. Let me grab a hold of one. Now, the way you do that, when you look down there at that injector, you're going to see this little silver clip. Let me get it up there. Push in on that. Just squeeze in, push in on that clip, and they slide right off. Then you're going to have T30s that are going to go on the rail to hold it in place. And if you look down in there, you see that? Those are E10s. Now it's going to help you if when you grab your E10, if you got a wobbly socket extension laying around, let me pull it off here. And your extension is going to look like that. It's going to have bevels and tapers on it. That allows that socket to wobble around a little bit. It's going to make it easier to fit down in there. So, sorry about, not making a perfect looking video, but I'm kind of going to be in a rush here. And I wanted to give y'all at least a little look at and not be nervous about how to do this thing. But let me pop this off. This is going to take probably about 10 minutes. I mean, it's not a long process, but when you ain't done it before, if it takes you an hour, hour and a half, don't worry about it. You haven't done it. You're going to be careful. So I'll flip you back around in a minute, and I'll show you where we're at. See you in a minute. All right, now real quick, when you're pulling this fuel rail off, there's going to be a ground wire on there, and it's going to one of your E10s down there on that intake. Now you can take the 10mm nut off, or just go ahead and pull this one E-bolt out. Leave that ground wire with the harness. Now generally when I pull these out, just when you loosen all these bolts down here, there's 6 of them. You got 2 in that slot right there. There's 2 in the slot right beside it, 1 on each end. Let me flip you back. Now generally, what you want to do is get them good and loose where they're good and free, and just leave them in the intake. You're going to shove them in the other one, so when you go to slide this puppy back down in there, all your bolts is going to be in place, but that one that you're going to be putting back through the ground wire. Make sure if you don't have one, stop off to the Harbor Freight, get yourself on them a little extendable shirt pocket magnets, because you're probably going to need it. You hadn't done this before, and you might drop a screw or two, and you're going to need to go hunting that thing. So I'll see y'all back in a minute. All right, fellers and fellettes. This is that little control valve I was telling you about. That when you replace this, where I rigged up a hose for the bypass, and your control line here, it comes down and it plugs into that valve. It slides up on, there's a rubber piece that goes in here, and it slides up on that intake. Yeah, I'm changing mine out. As you can see, I done popped it off there. But on these hoses, they say slide up in there tight. I mean, they're going to give you a fit. Let's see if I can make it to the bottom now. It looks like it's easy in them ports, but it can be a handful. I'm just saying. So when you guys are tugging on it, pull on it, you're gonna see there's a couple little areas that you can take like a straight pick like this. Get up in there beside it, try to twist on it, turn on it, tug on it, because you want all of that vacuum line you can have, because you're going to need it. You know, don't get mad and get your pocket knife out, your make it shorter device, and go to whacking on it. Get that thing off there. It's going to take you a minute. Now, it took me about 12 minutes to get this manifold off. Now, I still got to jump on that throttle body there with my H8 and move it over to the other manifold. And let's say it's going to take me 15, 20 minutes to put this back down there and get it back in place. Now, you got to remember, you guys ain't never done this. If you're watching this video, you probably done jumped up and down on the interwebs and said, yeah, how to replace an intake manifold on a 1.4 turbo. You're not getting the best how-to because I'm in a hurry. I got stuff I got to go do. But I'm going to try to give you a little guidance along here so you can make it happen. This whole process is probably going to take me from start to finish, and by the time I get the codes done, it's going to be about an hour. I might could drag it out to an hour and a half, but don't y'all get worried about it. When you're doing it, take your time. Go slow. It's not hard. It just looks that way. Once you get started, you're going to be like, okay, this ain't too bad. But give me a few minutes, and I'm going to get this other manifold back in here, and I'll catch you in a minute. All right, then. Kind of lied to you. It took me about 35 minutes. I had to answer a couple of phone calls. But actual swapping over the throttle body and stuffing her back in there time was probably about 15 minutes. Let me flip you back around here. Now, let me get a little light. Shine it on. Now, when you guys stuff this fuel rail back down in here, and this screw here, and its mate right there. Now, on your new manifold, those aren't threaded. Now, what you do is, when you got your T30 stuck down in the end of it, take a pair of pliers, give her a couple of little love taps there on the end. You know, whack, whack, not real hard, but just a couple of little taps. Then get your ratchet on it and let it thread in. And you got to remember now, that's plastic. When you get threaded to the bottom, just stop. Don't go reefing on it. Just snug and leave it alone. You're going to be just fine. But also, I'm going to flip you back around. Let's get walking around here. Get the light shining again. Do not forget, get the light just right. You see that brown ground wire there? Don't forget to hook that mug back up. It goes on that top E10 bolt in that manifold. And once again, just remember now, when you're tightening them E10s up, and there's only 6 of them. You got 4 in the middle and 1 on each end. You're snugging on a bolt that you can reef on it. It's a plastic manifold. Run that thing down snug, leave it alone. Once you compress that rubber gasket, it's done its job. But I just wanted to let you know about, you know, them 2 little rails there, or the screws for the fuel rail, they're not threaded. Just tap them lightly. That'll get it started. Then just take your ratchet, you know, there on your T30 and just run it on down. But I'll show you. Let me walk back over here. I'm going to flip you back around. Now, this is all it takes to do that job. 3/8 ratchet, 6-inch extension with an E10 on it. I use a wobbly extension, but you can use a regular one. A couple of screwdrivers, a pair of pliers. You're going to have your T30. I believe this one's a T15 for moving the sensor over. Yeah, that's 15. And you're going to need an H8, and that's for getting the 4 bolts out of the throttle body. That's why I say this job looks terrible, but that's all it takes to do it, and a little bit of patience. So I'll tell you what, we'll flip around here. Let's jump in here and fire this mug up. We'll see what we got going on here. Oh. Alrighty. As you can see, it's got a check engine light on, but I've got the old Apollo out. We're gonna do a little clearing on that and see what it is first. But I know what it is. It's gonna be some boost codes and stuff like that. It seems to be running pretty good. I don't hear it sucking and hissing. There you go. She's come out of one hole. She's going down to an idle. Good deal. That tells me that this valve cover is still doing its job, because this valve in here, it ain't gone bad, and I've replaced that valve cover. Now you're going to want to get you some brake cleaner or some ether, something like that. I'll show you all this kind of in real time. Now you want to get back here, in behind here, and just go to spray. Make sure you got this flammable flavored. If you got any vacuum leaks or anything, she's gonna rev up with you. They must be in pretty good shape, because I didn't get any reaction out of it. So I'm digging on it. You hear me? All right. I'm gonna get on in here, and I'm gonna get this Apollo hooked up. We're gonna do a little bit of looking at the codes and get that cleared out. And we're gonna have to go give it a drive cycle or two and make sure it sets all the readiness monitors and stuff where I can go get this thing inspected. But I'll see y'all on back here in a minute. Alrighty, we gave her the old drive cycle. Dang, let me flip you. And she came back good. It didn't have greasy on my forehead. Didn't have any recurring codes come back. All the presets are done, all the check marks are green. All I gotta do is just go get her inspected. I hope this video helps somebody that's trying to do this. It seems like a lot, but it really ain't. So you guys have a good one. I got a bunch of Class 8 stuff I gotta go get on. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Parked Up Garage.